Okay, are you clear now? Okay, so that is the second example. And what is my third example, which I was referring that? Okay, so maybe if you want to quickly check it, the customer under that pre-usage is a pre-usage is basically what? The before campaign. So I'm just printing out the mean of that. And of course, I'm just comparing, I'm looking at the means is absolute values basically. Now, if you look at, my pre-usage is 52.23 and post-usage of 1 month 52.775. By looking at sample-wise, there is a slight improvement, but it's not a significant improvement. But at a population level, they are different. They're not different, basically. So, but if you look at post-usage of second month, and you can see that 52 to 58 point something. That means by looking at the values also there is a improvement. But is that improvement a significant improvement or not? You want to check it. So then that's the reason I checked it, pre-usage and post-usage of second month. Right? So if you look at this one, you see the p-value. It's again exponential number. It's a 0.0000. So what can you conclude that? You can reject null hypothesis. That means that what? There is an improvement. What? There is improvement from loss pre-usage to post-usage of second month. That means the campaign is effective in 2 months, not in a first month. Is it clear? So that is the example which I was referring that. Okay, what is the third question, guys? Is there any difference between males and females in terms of code uses? So you have a variable called gender. I think gender or sex, one of the variable you have it. And in this case, zeros you can consider as a males, ones you can consider females, or vice versa, whichever you want. And now you can look at the ones and the zeros are having a similar kind of averages. Right? So first thing is what you need to do is you should have a two samples separately. What I mean to say that first you get the male spend and female spend. So what I'm saying is customer gender equal to 0, I'm calling as a males, and I'm filtering out those observations as a male spend, and equal to 1, I'm calling as a females. So now if you look at and their first few observations, now you can see that the males and females, and if you want to quickly look at the male spend average and female spend average, now you can see that male spend is 50, female spend is 54 or 55 approximate. Okay, now can you, by looking at this value, you can see that there is a difference, but is that difference is significant or not? That's what we want to check it. So, and again, in this case, one more important thing, if the two samples are different, you can also expect some kind of a variance also different. It is because the two set of people are having a different behavior. That means the variance also behavior, right? So the reason is if the variance is same, you will use one kind of a statistical metric. If the variance is different, you will use a different kind of a calculation. For the time being, I'm not getting into the mathematics behind the calculation, but I'm saying that if the variance is same, you will get one small, one statistical value. And if the variance is different, you will get another different statistical value. But there is a minute difference. There is not much difference. Maybe a third decimal or fourth decimal, you might see the difference. Okay, so that is what exactly we are saying, that if the variance you feel that they are different, you can specify under the statistical test, okay, what is my sample 1, what is my sample 2, and is the variance is similar or is different. Equal variance equal to false, what does that mean? They are having a different variance. So how will you conclude that it's a different variance? By looking at the standard deviations. So now in this case, what happened is, if you run this one, now what is your p-value? You got it? It's a very small, end of the day, less than 0.05. Now what can you conclude? You can reject null hypothesis. What is your null hypothesis? male spend equal to female spend. But is it you are rejecting that? That means male spend is different from female spend. But when you're looking at the male spend is female spend, so female spend is higher than male spend. That's your conclusion by looking at the spend of samples. Does that make sense? Now you're clear. What does that mean? Maybe by chance, maybe if you are using equal variance equal to true, maybe you might see there is a very minute difference. So here you can see that minus 3.65 you got here minus 3.73, the statistic metric. And of course, the p-value you might see slightly different. Okay, but whatever it is, I'm saying that you can look at the standard deviations, and if the standard deviation is, if both are similar, you can use equal variance equal to false. Sorry, equal variance equal to true. If both are different, equal variance equal to false. This is the one approach. There is the same thing you can also do with the help of ANOVA also, but for the time being, I'm not referring that. But at least you understand this part. Okay. Now, what is the next question? Next question is there any difference between segments of customers in terms of credit card usage? So you have a segment variable in your data, right? This is a segment variable, and you have a latest month usage. Now, what I'm asking is there any difference between spends between the segments? Is there any difference of spend between segments? So that is what I was referring that. So for that, what you should have for each segment, you should have a separate sample. Okay, segment 1, get all the latest month usage. Segment 2, get all the latest month usage. Segment 3, get all the latest month usage. That's what I have done it here, right? So that means that segment 1 you have 45 people, segment 2 you have 105 people, segment 3 you have 50 people, and I'm calculating the sample 1, sample 2, sample 3. Now under that you just provide the F1 by ANOVA and provide all the samples. That's all. And once you get the F value, the P value you got here, what is the P value? It's again very small. And what you can conclude? You can reject null hypothesis. What is your null hypothesis in your ANOVA perspective? Sample 1 average equal to sample 2 average equal to sample 3 average. And you are rejecting null hypothesis. What does that mean? Alternative hypothesis is at least one of the sample having a different averages. So that is the exactly we are looking at. In case if you want to quickly look at what is their averages individually as well as individual sample as well as overall sample. So you can see that so overall average is 63, but segment 1 average is 60, segment 2 average is 68, segment 3 average is 55. So at least if you look at 55 to 68, there is a significant difference. Yes or no? So that means at least one segment having a different spends. So that is the conclusion you can make with the help of this. So now, can you say that there is a relationship between segment and spend? Yes, right? Because different segments are having a different spends. That means segment is influencing spend. That means there is a relationship. So that's how ANOVA help you to identify the relationship between categorical and numerical. Right? A categorical is what? Segment. Numerical is what? Spend. Okay, so what is the next question? Is there any relationship between region and segment? So what is the region and segment? Region is categorical, segment is categorical. Now, if you look at the crosstab, this is the crosstab. I mean, if you look at the crosstab between segment and region, so there are 200 customers are there, and these are the Okay, segment 1 and region 1, there are 16 people are there. And this one is this one. I mean, basically segment 1 and region 2, 20 people are there. Segment 1, 45 people are there. Segment 2, 105 is there. Segment 3, 50 is there. Similarly, region 47 is there. Region 1, region 2, 95. Region 3, 48. Sorry, 58. So this is the cross table, you got it. Now this cross table will be input for my chi-square data. So if you look at the chi-square, and of course in this case chi-square, the output you will get it like this. This is my chi-square value, and this is my p-value. This is my degree of freedom, and this is my some kind of observed value. I will tell you a little later point of time, right? Expected value. So, but at this point of time, what you need to look at is, this is my chi-square value. This is my p-value. If chi-square value is high, that means that there is a strong relationship. And how will you look at the strong relationship? P-value. If p-value is low, you can reject your null hypothesis. What is your null hypothesis? There is no relationship. Alternative hypothesis, there is a relationship. If you reject null hypothesis, what can you conclude? There is a relationship, right? So that's how the chi-square test will be helpful. And the correlation, I think the last one is correlation, right? Is there any relationship between card usage in the latest month and pre-usage of campaign? So these are two numerical variables, and the two numerical variables, again, in this case, you have a stats test and a Pearson correlation. Of course, there are two types of correlations. We have Pearson and Spearman. We are going to use Pearson if you have both numerical variables. I mean, the variables are continuous in nature. If the variables are in discrete nature, then we will use Spearman correlation, which is more like a rank correlation. But here, both are numerical in nature, so which we are going to use what? Pearson correlation. So if you want to quickly look at, so stats test, and you can specify your variable 1 and variable 2. And if I look at this one, in this case, this is the correlation. And this is nothing but what? P-value. If the p-value is low, what does that mean? P-value is low, you can reject null hypothesis. What is your null hypothesis? There is no relationship. What is alternative hypothesis? There is a relationship. So in this case, there is a relationship or not? There is a relationship, right? So this is how you can use statistical methods to solve a different problems related to hypothesis testing. Correlation coefficient and both are same. I mean, this is a function. I mean, one function we have under NumPy. This is NP is NumPy. Yeah, the correlation coefficient, and this is using a stats module under the SciPy. So here the correlation coefficient you will get, but you will not get the p-value. Here you will get the p-value also. That's the difference.
How to do the post-hoc analysis in ANOVA?
Post-hoc analysis, right now we are not doing that. That is, I'm not talking about. But yes, there is a way to get that, so we can do that. Yes, the Pearson correlation we can use, because there you can see the p-value also. But the correlation coefficient is same. Whatever you get in here, and you will get it here also the same. So end of the day, what I'm talking about, hey guys, please. What I'm explaining here is, if I'm looking at a 95% confidence level, my p-value should be less than 0.05 if you want to reject null hypothesis. That's what I'm doing there.
Use that function of coefficient, then again we have to put in another function for
getting the p-value. So to avoid the confusion, probably I'm deleting this so that you will able to understand. So that is another approach to identify the calculate the p-value. Sorry, correlation coefficient value. Does this make sense? Any questions? Okay, so guys, till now what we have discussed is the application aspect. There are two small concepts I did not, I mean, 2-3 small concepts I did not explain, that like how the F value calculated, or how chi-square value calculated, etc. Probably some point of time I will talk about that, so don't worry. So at this point of time, if you look at, if you look at this sheet, whatever I was referring. So are you clear all of these things? These methods and the corresponding this. And I think if you remember all the statistical test, what is your null hypothesis, what is alternative hypothesis, what is the p-value, etc. Are you able to follow me? So end of the day, whatever statistical test you are going to use, first you need to make sure that what is your null, what is your alternative. Once you know null and alternative, by looking at the p-value, you can conclude. You can reject null hypothesis or not. And accordingly, your final decision will be happens. Good, excellent. So I know people will kill me. So if I take beyond this, so I will stop for today. And tomorrow we will start with the regression. So yesterday's session and today's session, I will upload the files today, right? Along with the Python earlier files, what you guys are requesting.
For details, the video will be 10 minutes.
Yes.
And for chi-square n-1 into
NS. So don't worry at this point of time, the degree of freedom, etc. I will slowly introduce those concepts, because what happened is if I introduce the concepts for statisticians, they can understand, but non-statisticians, they will get a little bit bold, right? So I'm slowly introducing some of the terms wherever required. Good. Thank you guys.